comedy was the catalyst to get back to sort of this normalcy. Like I remember that issue of The Onion that came out, and it was like,
legend.
Yeah, it was
legend.
like terrorists surprised to find themselves in hell. I thought there'd be virgins, right? Like,
yeah. Legend.
Saturday Night Live, The Late Show, the comedy portion, that the cultural part of it. Like, how do you see that? Like, or what's your hope for like how we get out of this fucking mess? So how do we get out of this mess?
We already got the E, Kathy. Go ahead and drop the F-bomb. It's fine.
What was really powerful about comedy at that time is it reminded us, it's very common and correct to say that that laughter is good medicine, or to talk about how we need a laugh, right? And that is all true. But that is not the only thing that laughter does. Laughter, yes, can be a balm, a distraction. Take me away for a minute. Let me just Netflix and chill with something silly and funny. No problem. We need that. We need to fill up our tanks, right? But but it doesn't stop there. Yeah. And that's where I think it's really important that we remember yet another superpower of comedy, which is reframing. Yes. And whether it's something that happens on an individual level, where we have lots of extremely smart and thoughtful comics who talk about traumatic things that happen to them, and in the act of doing so, first of all, convey to the audience that the comic, are okay, and yes, you're allowed to laugh, and then go on to use comedy as sort of a processing. Let me rephrase that, because they have process before they can do comedy about it. Sure. To use comedy as a reframing, because once you can make a joke about something terrible, it's actually an indicator that thing is no longer consuming you. Right. It means that you've kind of, pulled it out and can hold it at arm's length and kind of explore the different facets of it to see, well, what is funny? What is relatable? What is primal here that we can relate to? What jokes can I make about, certainly not the bad thing itself, but like my response to it, or how others treated me because of it. Or, what are the things I can take down with comedy? And that is a really powerful thing that happened, that The Onion really led the way with. They were the first people to tell a joke after September 11th.
Ooh,
and on a publicly,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I was doing stand-up then, and we were all just like, well, we will never, it felt like we will literally never tell a joke again. It is over. And so did the staff of The Onion. I've interviewed them, and they were just like, at their desk tapping their pencils, or if they were even at their desk, they were just like, we're done. But little by little, they realized where the opportunities for humor were. And obviously, they were not about the core of what happened. They weren't about the attacks. They weren't about, and even the joke about the terrorists was, I think, a little bit on the edge. They were about how we did not know how to react to this thing. My favorite joke that they did in that issue was, the headline was something like, not knowing what else to do, Indiana woman bakes flag cake. And I love that, because sometimes I find their Indiana woman jokes condescending, but in this case, it absolutely captured that the whole country was freaking out, and this woman in Indiana didn't live in New York, didn't live near the Pentagon, was so deeply affected, and what am I supposed to do? I guess I'll make a cake, and so it captured that feeling of powerlessness, but that was a reframing of, now let's think for a minute, give ourselves a minute to think, how are we going to get through this? Yeah. And that was the reframing. It put the thing at a distance just for a minute to be like, okay, this thing happened to all of us. And first of all, that is it brings us together, right? Across geographies. Well, I mean, and I don't mean you're right. I don't mean it brings us together. I don't meant as a country forever and ever.
No,
I just meant in that moment when we did feel shocked and isolated, and to just like, it was like a little push pin, you know, that reminded us that like everybody is feeling something about this.
Yeah.
So I do think that I would stop short of grandiose, magical statements that, you know, comedy will save us, or that it can literally bring everyone together. It can't, nor should it. I mean, no one likes every single TV show. That's not possible. No one likes every food. That's not possible. But I do think that it has to the degree, as we've talked about now, in this conversation, to the degree that it has the power to help us shift perceptions of what matters, shift perceptions of who gets to talk, shift perceptions of who we consider to be powerful. I think it has a lot of potential to continue to kind of build the air cover for social change, and also be that change itself.